Well, every episode we do will be 3 episodes, but we'll do the same 3 episodes 3 times with a rotating cast.
But yeah, that's true. So it'll be slightly different kind of opinions on it.
All right, I'm going to start the podcast. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's up, internet? I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, this is like an hour and a half early. We aren't even there, but you can listen to it later. We'll record it. So yeah, it's your guys' dad's anime stash adventure here, talking about Digimon Adventure once again. We are making our way through. We've already talked about our crew. We've talked about the first champions. We're going to talk about the second round of champions. With me in the studio this week, as always, is Mark.
What's up?
Beautiful, as always. Sai is not here. We've been messaging him all day. Have not gotten any response. So maybe he's dead. Maybe he hasn't checked his messages, or maybe it's something much more nefarious.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, it's on me for having to move it. I'm trying to go out for a birthday drink later, so
Now I do want to say happy birthday, Mark. You are the only 35-year-old on this podcast. Congratulations.
that's true. Yeah,
Did you ever think you'd make it to 35?
not really. No.
Classic Mark. All right.
I know.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about did you watch the episodes, Mark?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I like when you actually do it. That gives you something to talk about.
Yeah.
So first we're going to get into episode 5, Terrymon's Electro Shocker. Originally aired April 14th, 1999. So as anyone who's watched Digimon, 25 years ago already knows, this is going to be the episode where we finally meet Kabuterimon. Kabuterimon is the digivolution of Tentomon. He's going to come in. He's going to save the day. Any thoughts on that, Mark?
Okay, so to me, that's probably the biggest first Digimon champion where the voice really throws me off. Like, because like on the rest of them, even like the bird one and 6, I'm really bad with the names, but that evolves into like the cactus. The voice gets like super deep on pretty much all of them, except for Kabuterimon, whose voice gets like just stays really high pitched.
Well, he's a beetle.
Yeah, it just threw me off because like the rest of them up to that point have
it's a throwback because he's got a falsetto.
Yeah, they have higher pitched voices. They digivolve to their champion form, and their voices all get deeper and all that stuff. And then that one stays the same. It's just it always throws me off. But I do like the beetle look. Like the no eyes is a little creepy.
It's a samurai thing, right? The
yeah,
samurai.
I think so. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a mask or something. But
I do want to point out there's something in this episode that was very rude, and it was Ty hitting Izzy's computer. Ty needs to keep his hands to himself. Just because something
does get really aggressive with it. He's like mocking him, and he's like making fun of him, and
so this is an episode where we meet a recurring character that we're going to see later on, Andromon. Andromon is a champion data/vaccine type. Now, what's interesting about Andromon is he digivolves into High Andromon, who you never see in any series, but he's in literally every game since Digimon World 3. Every single one. The dozen games since Digimon World 3, he's been in it, but he's never been in the show. And Andromon's got titty missiles.
He does. That also can like fire machine gun bullets.
Yeah.
In addition to in addition to being missiles.
If you had titty missiles, is that how you would want them to work?
I mean, if I had to have them, yeah, like I'd rather they have a secondary use besides just being titty missiles. Like now they're titty missiles that also have machine gun bullets. Like I prefer
Like,
that.
you don't have to have them. It's a privilege.
Right, yeah. But if I'm going to have it, then having the secondary bonus is always a good thing.
I agree. So Andromon is obviously a good guy in disguise, as every Digimon is in the entire series, but he's pretty tough. Andromon's our first guy who beats 2 other champion level Digimon, and it's our main guys, Greymon and Garurumon.
Yeah,
Those guys are supposed to be the toughies.
yeah. It was a good. It's a good thing to do early on to kind of like show that just because they've digivolved one time that they're not this like all powerful Digimon. Like they're still not all powerful. There's plenty of things more powerful than they are.
Yeah. Now, we do have an interesting moment where the titty missiles are coming. They're shooting their machine guns. And they're about to kill TK. And Patamon is literally nowhere to be found. Matt has to save him. Where do you think Patamon was?
I mean, probably hiding.
I think he was taking a dump.
I mean, yeah, that also works.
I would say. Right. So your theory that you just postured about how digivolving once doesn't save anything kind of gets thrown out the window in this episode when Kabuterimon comes along and kicks Andromon's ass.
Yeah, it's a you're watching it for the first time. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like just because they've evolved doesn't mean that they're like all powerful. And then the next one digivolves in one-on-ones. Solo's the guy that the other two couldn't do. But I guess they're supposed to. I don't know. I guess maybe they're trying to do like a weird type thing because he's a machine, and he shoots him with an electrical blast.
Yeah, that would be a good thing for them to explore, but they really don't.
Yeah, it's a simple thing to be like, oh, it's a type thing, but they don't really go into it at all. But yes, Digimon without Sai, we don't know what happened. He didn't respond to us.
We feel like he might be trapped in a digital world.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the only point I could come up with is that maybe it's some weird type thing, but yeah, because even the next episode, the same kind of thing happens where, well, I guess that one doesn't really fight them in their evolved form, the bear.
Well, Digimon have types. Data virus and vaccine, yeah. And then there's also lots of other things they get into, but they don't explore it very deeply in the show. That's more for the card games and the video games.
Yeah, the show is more just about which. This is where you start getting like the weird, like there's a factory and it doesn't really do anything, and then there's a toy town, and there's like it's where you start getting like those weird elements of humanity in addition to like the subway car.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man, like I know it's not supposed to, but kind of like the factory that just builds machines to take them apart kind of creeps me out. Just
it's a little weird
setting for
even more
horror.
So when they fix him, they get the black gear out of him and he just goes yeah, I can't tell you anything about why this factory exists or what it does or what it's for, but you can take this tunnel over here to go somewhere else. It's it's there's a lot of like they introduce all these like mysterious elements to the world and then just kind of leave them at here's a mysterious element.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's something we hit a lot when we're 35-ish years old watching a show made for children.
We start looking into stuff way too deep.
Okay. Kabuterimon, you said you're a big fan of the design?
I like the design, yeah.
Would you say he's your favorite ultimate so far?
So far, I like it in this far.
Yeah, I'm still going with Greymon. I'm just a classic Greymon fan. But you know how I feel about Black War Greymon, so that probably affects everything in my life.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So let's move on to our next episode. We got episode 6, Togemon in Toy Town, aired April 11th, 1999. We've got this really weird scene where TK says back home he wasn't far from beating Matt in video games, and then everyone starts making fun of Matt because he doesn't miss being home. But Matt didn't say anything about not missing being home.
Yeah,
These kids are being jerks.
a little bit. I
And they
guess they
also
are
go,
trapped in a digital world.
well, still, they go hang out in a sewer, and we meet Numamon. Numamon is a champion level. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
the
You
bear.
probably no. That's We'll get to the bear in a minute. Numamon's the poop one
Oh, right,
with
right.
the eyes. Now, Numamon looks very much like it's not a champion level. Looks very much like a rookie Digimon, but nope,
It does.
actually a champion of the virus or data persuasion.
Hmm.
And the Numamon live in the sewer. All they do is run around and they chase the Digimon into Toy Town where they meet Manzamon. Now, here's the thing about Manzamon. He is the first ultimate Digimon we see in the entire series.
Yeah.
But they don't act like he's an ultimate.
No,
They
not
act like
really.
because he gets beaten by a champion. So
One-on-one, yeah.
that's insane. That makes no sense to me.
And just
You
after
know,
like a little fist fight.
people say, hey, Dragon Ball Z retcons too much. Maybe Digimon does.
They
I'm
definitely
just
do
kidding.
some.
There's no such thing as too many retcons.
Yeah.
So I'd said last episode I didn't like the factory that built things just to on-build them. I didn't. But this episode was kind of disturbing to me. I don't like when people are being controlled, but like they understand what they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever read the book Pet Cemetery?
Not the book. I mean, I've seen the movies.
The book is really disturbing to me because it goes through the dude's thought process while he's doing stuff, and like he knows he wouldn't normally be doing this, but he's just persuaded to do it. And he can't not do it. He can't not walk out to the cemetery in the middle of the night. He can't not dig his kid up and bury him in a new cemetery so he comes back to life. He's very driven to do it, and like it goes through his train of thought, and that kind of stuff has always disturbed me. And even just the basic stuff like this, where the Digidestin are walking around talking about how they're having so much fun when they're obviously not, it's kind of disturbing to me.
Yeah, it's it's a little weird in a kid show to be introducing like brainwashing and like mind control and I just thought everyone would be happy if I did this, and it's like okay.
It's like that episode of Batman where that dude lives in the sewer and he's got all those kids as slaves.
Yeah,
It was a disturbing episode.
it's interesting for sure.
Now, another thing that was weird to me, Manzamon, right? None of the Digidestin assume he has a black gear in him, despite the fact that we've seen 3 or 4 black gears at this point. They're just like,
Yeah, there's a
why
trend.
is he mad now?
Yeah, there's definitely a trend.
So yeah. And then Togemon. What do you think of Togemon?
I mean, I like Togemon. I like the boxing kind of aspect that appeals to me. I think the quill attack is pretty cool.
Do you think Togemon could beat Baki?
I mean, yeah, but mainly because I think Togemon's like what, how tall?
Togemon? Uh
You
I
got to
don't know.
figure at least like what, 10, 12 feet.
You can't listen, man. Height does not determine the skill of a boxer.
It doesn't, but at a certain point, it becomes like at a certain point, it might weigh in there.
We're estimating around 8 foot five 5 inches.
Okay, okay, maybe a fair fight then. You know, maybe a fair fight.
But I also don't think it's fair that Baki has to train for this fight where Togemon just has natural skill. But that's just life, man.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works sometimes.
Right. So Togemon Digivolves, beats the shit out of Monzamon, and then the Black Gear goes away and the episode ends. The
Yeah.
champion level episodes are all very similar, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, there's an easy theme of let's get the next one to Digivolve, and they've done it, and they win, and we're done.
Yeah. Well, we got one more we're going to talk about, and then things are going to get way different. All right, so we got episode 7, Kakuman's Harpoon Torpedo, originally aired April 18th, 1999. It's the year you were born.
So close.
We got the Digidestin, and they're cold, and Joe is the only one who's worried about freezing to death. The rest are just like, it'll be fine. Insane. This is why Joe should be the leader.
I mean, he does. You know, he's pragmatic. He's pragmatic.
They find a refrigerator full of eggs randomly in the middle of nowhere.
As you do.
And Sora says she can cook them all because she's the group's mom.
Yeah.
They get to that pretty quick. Izzy says he wants eggs with mustard and jelly beans, which is a very odd thing to say, but it ties in later because in the movie, he eats Ty's mom's cooking and he loves it. And Ty's mom is known to make crazy things.
Yeah.
Matt and Ty get into a big fight about whether or not they should climb Infinity Mountain.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you climb the mountain just to turn around?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to.
It doesn't seem like that hard of a climb when they actually get to it.
Not a crazy bad climb, you know.
There's a good line from Matt to Ty where he says, "Stop acting like you can just bully your way into being the leader."
I mean, I mean, he kind of does.
Yeah, but he actually does bully his way into being the leader.
Yeah.
And he does it pretty easily as well.
Yeah.
And then we got our villain of the week shows up. It is Unimon, who is a very nice Digimon, according to Gomamon, but he attacks them. Do you know why he attacks them?
Is it a black gear?
It is a black gear. They don't realize that, though. Well, Unimon kicks everyone's ass until Gomamon evolves to a Kakumon. Unimon is a champion level vaccine, and a Kakumon is also a champion level vaccine.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, how can that be it? Because Patamon hasn't digivolved yet. Well, Patamon's not going to digivolve for a while. So get that out of your head.
Take some time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the episodes we watched. What do you think? Thoughts?
I mean, it's a simple way back then to introduce like the the evolutions of Digimon and just kind of like, here's what they look like. Let's get it out of the way before we kind of get into the. You're like, here's black ears, here's all the Digimon evolved, and here's kind of the crux of what you're gonna get for the next little while.
They're definitely not as structured as Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon's very rigid about what a Pokemon is, how it evolves, and all that. Digimon is not. Digimon will go back and be like, nah, he does this now.
It's true. Yeah. It's kind of like Digimon puts more into it. of like there's more to it than just it's a Pikachu or it's whatever. It's like, oh, we live here and we do this. Like there's more to their homeland than just I live in Viridian Forest because that's just where I do. Or I
Oh
live
yeah.
in this area because I do. Digimon puts more thought into like where they're at.
Yeah, we can all agree Digimon's much better than Pokemon.
Uh,
So
yeah,
next
I've
week,
always said that. I never like watched well until obviously now. Like I've never watched them both either a ton, just when we reviewed it. But I've always liked Digimon more.
we'll get into the tougher episodes where things get pretty dark. We're gonna find out our main villain for the next few episodes, and the Digimon might get sorted out, and we might have to get them all back together. Maybe there'll be a Sub-Zero Ice Punch.
Maybe.
Maybe. Anything else you're up to, Mark? You watching any anime? Yeah, having any birthdays?
Just Digimon right now.
Did you watch Cobra Kai?
Not yet.
You missed out.
Because part 2 just came out, right?
Yeah,
So I plan on starting it very soon.
that's good. It's I thought part 1 dragged, but I like this one a lot. I don't like that they're releasing them in 5-episode blocks, months apart.
Yeah, that's why I was
But
waiting a little bit. But I mean, at least now we have. I don't know if you saw they're gonna do they're gonna do a new movie with
yeah,
Ralph Macchio in it because the show did so well. They're gonna do a movie.
and Jackie Chan
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be cool.
should be good. Comes out in May, so
Yeah,
we'll probably just meet in the middle and go to the movies together.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Aside from that, not a lot going on. New Linkin Park album. Probably
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
you haven't listened to it.
Not yet. No.
I liked one song.
You like the new singer?
She's all right. Well, you got to keep in mind, Linkin Park always had 2 lead singers, and people discount that a lot.
That is true. Yeah.
So they'll do all right.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Same thing happened to the Bare Naked Ladies, and they're doing just fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll all work out. But no, that's about it. I'm gonna go out for a drink or two tonight, and then just catch up on work from being sick all week. Put me pretty far behind.
Well, that would explain why I'm sick now, because I was hanging out with you.
Yeah, it goes in. It's a cycle, One person gets sick, then the next person gets sick.
All right. All right. Well, that was a short episode, but it was a good episode. We missed Cy, but he'll be back on Sunday, I'm sure.
Yes, he'll be there.
All right. Do you want to sing the customary ending theme song?
Yeah. Digimon, Digital Monsters. That's